Yes.
Hey, welcome everybody back to Collector's Company. We're here with Kevin. Thanks for joining us, Kevin. How are you doing?
I'm doing well,
Glad to hear.
Lost a little bit from PAX, but we're trucking through it.
I completely respect it. I'm still feeling the same way. But well done. Tell us what you did and how you did.
Yeah, so I played Fu over the last two regionals we have in Australia. I went 9th and then 4th with the deck. I think it is a really strong deck and a bit of a rogue pick at the moment. So yeah, I'll just go through my choices and why and how I play the deck.
Absolutely.
So the leader first up, activate main, draw one card, take a life if you want to, and then look at top 5 and put a Cumber or Fu in your Z deck. So this is kind of the main core of the deck where you want to be putting your Cumbers into your Z deck so you can play them with your Z card. Awaken, 4 life less, draw 2. Awaken side has the same thing except you don't take a life because you don't need to anymore. And then the main gimmick of the deck is once per turn, activate battle. You can, while exactly what I say. If it's your opponent's turn, choose between your black Cumber cards and make it a focus, the target of the battle. So it's pretty much like a redirected block mid-battle.
So basically like a free deadly defender when you want.
Pretty much. You can just, on choice, you just go, I'm not dealing with this attack. This battle card here can deal with it instead. It's pretty good.
It is very gross. I know that firsthand.
Cool. So first up, we'll just get the SAR out of the way. So I played the SAR for the deck. It's pretty busted. Ultimate double strike. When this card's in play in rest mode, you don't take damage. Once per turn. Permanent. If this card will be removed, you are able to not to be a battle. You're able to take a life instead, and it'll just stay. And then to play it, activate battle 1. Play it out in rest mode if you have 4 life or less. So because you can put this in your Z deck, it can be played from your Z deck or hand, and so it's pretty versatile there. The other activate main is once per turn, you remove 2 cards from your Z deck from the game, and you get to play it out, and you get to gain a life again. So I've done that many times, and against some decks you can gain multiple life, and if they can't remove it, you just keep on drawing cards essentially. It's very good.
That's very gross.
Yes. So I'll go through the Z deck first because it is kind of the core of the deck, and the battle cards just kind of help it a little bit. So I play 3 of the Fu for the deck. So deflect Z stack 1, you put one of the Cumbers from your Z deck underneath it, which will be the ones you put in there through your leader ability or its own ability itself. Once per turn, on your turn can't be removed from the battlefield via skills. So just against green, they can't remove it. It has deflect. Literally, there are very, very few cards which will remove this on your turn. So you're pretty much guaranteed to always get it when you pay the 1 for it. And then activate main 1, you can just look at the top 5, similarly leader effect, and put a 4 Cumber in your Z deck. So it just lets you keep on getting those cards in there. Combined with that, you have the field card, which I play 2 of. This one says you can place a Cumber from your Z deck underneath this Fu, and all of the Cumbers you place underneath have an effect which play them from underneath this Fu for you. So essentially, with these 2 cards in the field, the turn you play it, you'll get 1 from the Z stack and 1 from this, and then every turn this lives, you just get a free 20k body on the field, which you can then either swing with, use Overlord, and it's very powerful. The other effect, in combination with your leader, you activate battle, remove this from the game, discard a card from your hand, play a Cumber 6-drop from your Z deck in rest mode, which means you can do this. Essentially, all you need is 1 card in hand, this on the field, and you always get out of any attack you want. So your opponent has to respect this on the field, and you have a card in hand and a Cumber in your Z deck. They can never go for game because you can just always redirect if you choose to. So your opponent is forced to do an even spread of attacks instead of being able to go in big with a couple, which stops a lot of decks from their game plan.
In our matchup, it completely stopped me dead.
Yes, other people, you have to respect it, because if you don't, you just lose the game. It's not like a fake out, which some decks can do. It is if you don't respect this card, you will lose the game because of it. So it's really good in that sense. And then the last 2 cards in the Z deck are just one of the Goku, one of the Oob. So Oob, pay 1 Z energy, bring it out to blocker, you remove another Z energy and you get to absorb something, become 25k. So it's just a 25k beta which has blocker, which is sometimes helpful. And then the Goku is pay 1, 2 Z energy. So essentially they cost the same amount of Z energy. This one warps anything, and then if you remove 10 cards from the game from you drop a warp, you get 10k double strike. So just more small attackers which get under bigger more. Especially, it's like the main use case I use for it. It's also just removal on demand. Not that you don't have enough, but there's even more. So with that in mind of being able to play everything through this, I'll show you the Cumbers I play now. So I have the
Congratulations, it ignores Barrett.
4 of the warp from hand cumber.
Yep.
4 of the warp from board cumber. 2 of the combo on swing cumbers. So these are all the ones which have the activate main, where you, if this is under the foo here, you can just get to play it out. So the ideal strategy is you want to be placing them in your Z deck with either your lead ability or this foo itself, and then Z stack pull underneath, play it out. You with the field on the field, or the extra card on the field, you place another one underneath here and play it out. So every turn you're getting 2 free bodies. If there's 2 bodies for 1 energy, plus the effects of warping a battle card, warp a card from hand, or getting a free combo which gets you more Z energy. Like, this is the core of the deck and is really where you get a lot of the value. So a lot of the games I'll sit with 12 to 15 cards in hand, just because my bonus to my turn is, okay, I'll just play 2 of these out, play 1 card from hand, which is generally going to draw me a card or remove something, and it's like, you just never go neg in this deck, which is the main benefit of this. And then I also play 2 of this combo. So this one is mainly just there because to make up numbers, and you can also play it out with the extra ability because it is a 6-drop combo, and it's also a tech for red. So this one says, if you have opponent's 2 more energy and they have a battle card play, you play 1 for it. It has dual attack 90k, which is pretty nice. You can also give it Servant with the 8-drop foo, we'll see later. But the main thing is you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and give it Servant. So against things like the red Gohan counterplay, you just give it Servant. It's in rest mode. They can't remove it. You're not going to remove it, and then they can't play another one. And so they kind of it just sits there and does nothing, which is ideally what you want it to do against you, because that card's pretty strong against this deck.
No, that makes complete sense. It's one of the only things that can remove foo on your turn.
Exactly, yeah. So the biggest count of this is, I guess, red, and so we have cards which help out with that. The next package is the foo packages. So these are generally what you want to play on the first couple turns of the game. These get your combos into the Z deck for you, and just generally I'll treat them like cantrips. I will combo these off just to get the free, or essentially free Z energy in the early game, because I don't really care about swinging with them. I play this deck a lot more mid-range control compared to some of the other people's lists I've seen, where they will just swing with everything. I will do sort of nothing for the first few turns, and depending on the matchup, either taking the life or not taking the life with this one side. If I'm versing aggro, I won't take it. If I'm versing control, I will take it, because they're not going to attack me. And so, but essentially I'm just doing nothing to the mid game until I can start slamming lots of bodies and lots of attacks and giving my opponent trouble with their game plan. So they both have the same activate main, pay 1, put a combo from your hand into your Z deck. You can then grab up to 1 foo out of your Z deck. So if you've had to put ideally you want to put foos in there with your ability at the start of the game, which means when you use this, you grab them back out, you don't neg at all, and then on play, this one draws a card and this one looks top 5. So I don't play any of the warp one because A, I don't really play aggro, so I don't want to swing with it. B, you don't get a draw effect, so it's actually neg 1 card technically. And C, I think you have enough of a removal anyway. Like the warp on 5 double S really hasn't come up that much. But yeah, so that's why I cut that one out.
Makes complete sense.
And full life.
So those like the mid game, and then like the end game is the main core of the deck. 4 of this combo, and then 3 of this foo. So this combo, activate main 1, pay 1 black. You have to place a combo from your drop or warp underneath it, so that is a cost. You can't play this if you don't have one in there. And then you need to have 3 or more energy. On play, warp something with a cost less than or equal to the amount of cards in your Z deck. So in foo, it works especially well because you will have 10 to 12 every time you play this until it gets to the very end of the game. And then there's just this free barrier removal. And then on auto, when you swing, if you have a combo underneath this, so pretty much only when you play this from hand you get this effect, you can give a double strike.
I think you need to be on 4 energy for that too. But
yes, you also need to be on 4 energy for that effect. So generally I'll just play this, if I'm going first, I'll play this on 3, swing with it. If it gets removed, cool, because I've done something to them. If it doesn't get removed, sweet. It has the card underneath it for next turn.
Fantastic.
This foo is the other way to play it. So you'll pay 2 for this foo. Your opponent has to be on 3 more energy for this one, so this is the ideal play going second if you need to remove stuff on turn 3. Dual attack limit 1, overlord once per turn, and activate main. When you play this, you get to play this for this combo. It has to be 7-drop combo from your drop or Z deck. So normally you would just put have one of these in your Z deck, and you'll use this to just play it out. That way you're not negging anything from your hand, like trying to combo it off the end of the drop to play it. You'll just have it in your Z deck naturally. So the way I think about the leader is you draw one from your deck, you draw up to one from life, and then you draw like half a card when you put in your Z deck, because you are getting the value from it eventually. So it generates you like half a card advantage, because you can't do it with it, but it is good advantage still. And then activate battle once per turn. You can give one of your Cumbers Servant. So generally turn 3, you play this, swing with it, give it Servant. It's a 35k. It keeps Servants for the end of your opponent's next turn, which is really useful for your leader ability, and just makes it harder to remove via battle. But if you have and then you will generally just overlord any of the other Cumbers you've played through the Foo. The one drop Foo.
Makes sense. And if they don't respect this, because you can give Servant as an active battle, you can always do it to another Cumber on your opponent's turn when they swing into it.
Yeah, correct. Also, another thing is, this activate main of playing the card isn't once per turn. So I've had games where turn 6, I will play out this, which is then played out 2 of these.
Oh dear.
Then played one of these from hand, and then paid one for an overrun, which I'll show you later. And it's like you have all of these attacks for the kill turn, so you don't really need a wide array of like different end game bodies, because this one you can just play the exact same one all the time. So it's really good.
It's very intimidating.
So that's kind of the main core of the package. Next is just the super combo choice. It's just the best black super combo.
Of course.
Unfortunately, the Cumber super combo isn't actually a Cumber. Otherwise, you would use it because it'd be searchable and it would be great. But you don't really. The only searcher is one of the Foos anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's not that much consistent. You draw a lot with this deck, especially in Awaken turn. You draw 5 cards if you sequence correctly. So I end the game with 5 to 10 cards in the deck very often, and that's like turn 5. So this just lets you filter out any dead cards, because I do play a lot of extra cards to support the rest of the package. So I will go into some of those now. So 2 token negates, pretty standard. 2 petrification, this card is a must. It is the reason black is so broken at the moment. It just answers every big boss monster that is called Gohan.
This card is quite amazing, but it always has this weird parabolic arc. It's always either useless or broken in the format. There's never a it's okay time.
I think because in the meta at the moment, a lot of cards will do things on swing and not on play. This card's really good. If we switch back to a meta where everything just does everything on play, like we've had previously, this card just becomes useless again, because they've already gotten the value out of the card. You stopping its abilities doesn't really do much. But with things like the Gohan 8 drop, the new Goku, like the new Gohan, it's just really good. So there's those ones. 2 Protector of the People. So the reason I run this is because your leader inherently stops big attacks, you need a way to punish people for trying to go wide. So people will try and set up a board against you and then swing a lot of small attacks. Because you don't have a Z leader, you are weak and a bit weaker than on some other decks in that case. So you just do this, and you're like, okay, you can't go tall because I'm going to block a couple of attacks, and you can't go wide because you're just going to punish yourself by having to go bigger and bigger every time. So I think that's really good. And then 2 Super Kamehameha. Just good anti-floodgate, good. Just cards are really good in general. 3 drops or less are really good to hit.
And you can control your life so easily, so getting to 4 is not a problem.
Exactly. So you got to 4 pretty much turn 3 most games, maybe even turn 4 against like control slower decks. The great thing is because you can gain life with this. I've considered putting this up to like 3 or 4 just because you do gain the life. It's like, okay, why can't I just do this again for free? It's like, it is so dirty in that sense. But yeah, that's all the extra cards. I think there are more on the sideboard, but I think this is a good package to have in the main. It just covers all your scenarios, and it lets you be more flexible with how you want to play the game.
Completely.
Now for, I guess, some of the spice. So I have 3 of this Bardock units in the main. So I found in testing that Bigger More gave me some issues, and Gogeta gave me some issues. So like this could be in the sideboard and I could have other cards in, but this is kind of like the flex spot of the deck where I'm like, well, if I need to side something out, this is probably the first thing I side out, unless I need it for the matchup. So I go the card, activate main. The +1 is just draw a card, is always good. The -2 is your opponent can't attack with battle cards unless they whoop a card from hand, so it's a cost. So if you get to the very end of the game, you slam this. If we both have like 7 cards in hand, they just, like, it's such a hard thing to swing through, especially if I still have, like, leader ability for the turn. If I haven't even used my SCR yet, it's like, okay, well, they can only swing twice and make them meaningful attacks, and then I'm going to stop both of them. So I think it's really good. Same reason for Protect for the People. It's really good with the inherent like gimmick of the deck of you being able to stop wide attacks, and your leader just lets you stop tall attacks. I have 2 of the Gohan SGR, so I pretty much never use this card. I started out if I need to bring anything in. It's just this. The problem with this, almost a good problem, is like there's just too many flex spots where I'm like I could just put everything in because you draw so much and the core is really tight. You don't need that much to make it work. Like you can just put so many things in. Like this is really good. It's like okay, I'll just combo it off early. It was go to the drop, and it's like, well, if someone tries to go for double shot for game, and I've already used my SCR, we've gone to that point, and I have no more combos to play, or they remove my field with the card, I just still have this if they try to go for double. So it's just like
it's an easy thing to forget about too if you combo it off early.
Exactly. I have 2 of this Goku. I started out against black because it's kind of dead card against black, but against green, it's really good. If someone tries to bigger more you, this is your answer to that. This is also your answer to the Vegeta unison, the one which says you can't attack with cards greater than or equal to your energy cost.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
No, so you just slam this turn 3, because generally they're going to play at turn 3, not really turn 2, and so you just play this, swing into it, it's gone. If they want to stop it, like sure, okay, I paid 1 energy, you can stop if you like, and so that's really good for that issue. It's also just not, like every card I show you right now is all flex. Like these, all of these cards can be taken in and out, just depending on what the meta is and what you feel like is best for the deck. I only run 2 of this Mechie, so Overlord once per turn. Play it, draw a card, or recycle yourself. Overlord once per turn, so you can bottom deck all these combos you're playing every turn, and then you also get a token. So this is kind of goated when you go for longer games. You just get infinite value off of this, and so I really like this was at 4 for a while, down to 2, up to 3. It's just one of those cards I was like, well, I've got nothing else to put in, or I don't like this card anymore, I'll just bump this back up again because it's just better than nothing. It's always useful.
Makes complete sense. Just an amazing cantrip for the deck.
Yes. And then the last 3 cards are all my overwhelms. So first is the Vegeta overwhelm 6, warp a card from their field, just more removal, 30k body. You do struggle sometimes to get cards in the drop, but generally you get to use 1 or 2 overwhelms a game, so I run 3. The second one I run is this Bardock, Tenacious. So overwhelm 6, pay 1. Your opponent can only attack with battle cards once for the next turn, and you can't play it the next turn. Similar to Protect of the People and the Unison, this just says, okay, I need to buy a turn. You can only attack me twice, realistically, unless they're playing a Unison-based deck. So Golden Freezer is kind of useless against every other deck. This goes, okay, you have 2 or 3 attacks. I can stop 2 of them for free. Like, what are you going to do about that? And they can't do anything about it, which is a great thing. And then my last overwhelm is like my spice for the deck, I guess, is this Mirror. So this Mirror is amazing in this deck. Double Strike, 30k, overwhelm 7, pay 1. When you play this, you draw a card, and at the end of the turn, you untap an energy. Because there are so many extra cards you want to use in your opponent's turn, and your SCR costs 1 to play, if you do this in the middle of the game to put on pressure, I've taken people down to 1 life, on like turn 4, knowing I'm not going to win the game, but then they're on 1 life, I still have this in my Z deck, or in my hand, so I can play this, or I have Petrification in hand, and I'm like, okay, you're just not killing me. Like, I've put you in a position where you were playing in the back foot the whole game now, and I'm just chilling. Just because of this card, let me push that a little bit extra when you didn't think I could, while still being able to defend myself the next turn.
Very true. It's a great bit of spice, and it ruined my day when Kevin dropped it on me the first time. I had forgotten he existed until it happened.
So yeah, I think this card has won me a few games where I probably wasn't in a winning position until I slammed this and made my opponent drop 3/4 of their hand, trying not to die that turn.
Okay, so how many cards does your deck all up?
My deck is 52 cards. I was running at 50 for a bit, but then I lost to Mill a couple times and went, okay, I need a few more. Just because, yeah, you get down to like 10 cards in deck, and you get a little bit scared. But because Overlord, you put 1 in the back at the bottom, you draw 1, it's not too bad. I've never really had trouble hitting anything, so yeah, I just kept it at 52 for now.
Okay.
Cool, and I will go through my sideboard quickly. So, 2 quotes. I have to respect Yellow, and I have to respect Cooler Mill. So we have a Cooler Mill player. Tim, shout out. You made me sideboard this card just so I don't lose.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, so I literally just have to have this card in there for that. It hits yellow. It's just generically good, but it's mainly just so I don't lose to Mill, because this deck, against Mill, I literally Awaken, and then just never use my leader ability because I can't risk milling myself out.
Makes
and
sense.
against mill, you're normally going to have like 12, 14 cards in hand, so you just go, okay, I don't need the extra ones. I'll start drawing when I think I need the extra ones, but most of the time you just stop. One Jiren, gotta respect blue. It's really good into just blue and if they're playing blue, I start this in.
Makes sense.
Because John gave me depression one time when he beast timed me, returned everything to my hand. I had 17 cards in hand, and then he played the Goku Z card, which makes you go down to 10.
Oh dear.
And so then I lost 7 cards. And I'm just keeping this in for now. Like I had 3 energy open that turn because it was getting to like turn 6, and I just kept on flooding the board. And so he did that and just went, okay, you can lose almost half your hand. I was like, well, I'm keeping that in. I have 2 Hunt. This card is really good against green and blue. This punishes a lot of greedy green players who will, especially Go Bros, who will tap out, play the Unison, and go, I'm not dying. I have 2 different negates, which will just floodgate you, and I go, okay. I'll play my big boy, swing, and they go negate, and I go no. And they go, oh. Block, I'm like, okay, cool. Just keep swinging. And so a lot of the time, if they do that, especially because with the new the Gohan negate, the one that makes you use the charge card every time, it's limit 1. So if you hit this with that, they can't use another one.
That's not actually correct.
No, they changed it again?
They changed it
Okay,
again.
ignore that. They changed the ruling again?
It is
That's
still a
fine.
great card to have.
It's still very good. I would still always have this.
You still want it for Gogeta as
They
well.
change the rulings all the time. That's all good. 2 more petrification because you just need to see all 4 against green.
Yep.
Really good.
Makes complete sense.
2 Dabura because you need it against green. It just helps out a lot. I wish there was a free version like the other colors have where you just discard it, play it, draw 1. But this is our only option. It's also really good for Android 21 to swing through their floodgates. 2 Ghost Warriors for the same deck. My hardest matchup is Android 21. My last 2 losses in the last 2 regionals were both to Jun and John. So I have to respect
Hence
Android
all
21.
the green and all the Android 21 hate.
It is, my 10 cards on my sideboard are for Android 21 at the moment, just because
Oh
that
my
deck
lord.
just because it was so hard. Same reason I run 2 of these, because I really do not like Android 21, and I need to stop that floodgate.
You don't say.
I think in the last region was against Jun. He got to 11 energy and won by double burning me in 1 turn because it just went on that long because he had to respect my sideboard because he knew I had it. And I did have it, and so when he respected it, it was good for him. But yeah, too bad there's no anti-burn card in black, because otherwise I would probably put that in next.
Oh, that's true, there isn't.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Android 21 is probably like a 70-30 matchup for them, so still trying to figure out how to beat that, but it is a rough one. One of these, for the tokens they try and give you, you can just play this. If they Kusu you, oh well, they Kusu'd something that's useless for me, so it's better than them Kusuing my 6-drop Cumbers.
Absolutely.
And then the one of Bardock. So this is really only needed for the Gogeta matchup, because the only way you can get this card here, other than being a counter for 1, it also Spirit Boost 1. You pay 2, choose a 2 impressed by a card to energy cost greater than their current energy until the end of your opponent's next turn. Its skills are negated. So this is for the SCR of the deck. But the problem is this needs to be in the drop to be activated, and the only way you have to get in the drop is via where is it? Petrification, this card.
Yeah.
And if you don't see this early enough, and they just slam the SCR, the longer the thing lives, you just are slowly losing the game. So this is just another way to get it into your drop, and it's another poking target, which is really good.
Makes complete sense.
Yeah,
It's a great card.
that is the full 52 plus 15.
Fantastic. Look, do you want to have any shout-outs you want to give for the day?
Just shout out to the boys for all the great games, even though it is depressing losing the same people over again. They make us better, so I'll eventually get the dub. But yeah, shout out to everyone at Locals, and shout out to Max for all the deck building ideas we had together.
Fantastic. All right, guys. Well, we'll have another profile up on the way soon, but otherwise, peace.
Catch you guys.